This shouldn't ever happen to any family, ever. To no parents, to nobody. And the sad thing about this is it doesn't just affect one person. It doesn't just affect Dillon. Dillon's gone beyond, and it's my passion and my quest that I will never, ever let anybody forget he was here, no matter what. I may not have been his mom, but he's in my heart. I've lost a lot of people in my life. My dad, I just lost my dad and my sister. But for some reason, Dillon's tragedy is with me every single day I wake up. And I think of what happened to him. And when I look at this ground, I think of how they let him lay here for all those hours. He never deserved that. He was a fun, loving guy that he was the party. He was the life of every party. He would make anybody smile. You could be mad as hell at him, and you'd still smile. He lives behind his sister Tisha Taylor, and she has had a broken heart for a long time. He leaves behind his brother Jarrell, his brother Dillon, his brother Adam that couldn't be here tonight, his brother Cody, his sister Dory, his sister Marky. He has such a huge family, a huge extension. I was going through some paperwork the other day and I found a letter that he wrote me telling me how much he loved our family and how proud he was to be a part of it. And it seems like I run across these things at the most opportune times. If I could say one thing, please keep your babies near. You never know what's going to happen in a blink of an eye. I support all the families, and unfortunately I've got to know quite a few of them. I shouldn't say unfortunately. I've met a lot of people that's had my back, that's walked with me side by side, and they've had losses too. The Kanash family drove all the way from St. George. I appreciate you guys so much just to support us, and we support you too. I know Danielle Willard's family would be here, Darian Hunt's family, James Barker, just to mention a few, Joey Tucker. All of these people are missed, and I ask you all to please keep them in your memory today. When we chalk these streets, it's in memory of all of them, not just Dillon. Tomorrow will be 4 years for Dillon, and his case is still sitting in summary. They had a summary report handed in a year ago. A year ago, the judge still hasn't decided if there's enough evidence to see this case through. He still hasn't decided that Dillon wasn't a threat, that he wasn't committing a crime, that he didn't have a weapon. 4 years later, and 1 year later since he's had all that evidence, he still hasn't decided. I ask everybody, if you can holler about this. I think they just want our families to go away. They just want us to forget that they ever existed, and it doesn't happen that way. Our tears are still here every single day. I want to hand the mic over to Tisha. I want her to say a couple of words about her brother. Come on up, Tisha. Most of you haven't met her. She's had a lot of struggles, a lot of emotional stuff, but this kid has hung in there tight. And she's always got my back, and we've got each other.
My brother Dillon means the world to me still to this day. 4 years ago, I decided to pack my stuff and just leave after I seen the video. I try to be so strong about this whole thing, honestly. But in my heart, I'm really a weak soul, I feel like, that I can't ever see my brother again. But I know he's with me every single day of my life that I walk. Like, there have been times I feel like I should have, no offense, he's my guardian angel. I feel like there's times I should have died, but I'm still here. Dillon always had my back. Like, he, not bringing up any names, but my ex-husband, he tried beating him up, like, just because he would try to hug me back when I was still 15. I asked myself, how do I go on throughout the day sometimes when I don't want to? I'd rather be with him. And there's days I don't know, honestly, on how I get through the day. I just know I miss my brother every day, and I try to be so freaking strong. That kid, we had our moments, and yet he would still come to me and tell me, make me happy. Every day after school at Hunter High, he would come pick me up and buy me a bag of hot Cheetos and a Mountain Dew every day. It never failed. And he would always tell my high school teacher all the time, how you doing? Like, that was just his thing. If I could have one wish on earth, it would be to bring my brother back. Brown Cruz took that away from me and away from my whole entire damn family, honestly. And I have rage inside me that I just pretend I don't have, honestly, because of this, but I have that rage. Like, he was an amazing brother to me. If you guys really knew him and who he was to this day, you all would love that guy. He has stood by me, and I can continue just going on about nonsense. But Dillon is forever missed around here, around Utah and other states. And 4 years ago is when I packed my bags after I seen that video of my brother, and I decided to leave just because there was just so much. I haven't been to this place in about 3 years just because of the tragedy. It's hard to go see his grave because I don't feel like he's in there. It's just hard to even picture him at his grave in 6 feet under when that shouldn't have never happened, because some guy didn't even care. I guess I'm going to say it as. I'm just going to say Dillon's forever missed. And I'm going to give the microphone over to my sister Dory. Let her spill her guts out for a little bit.
Hi, I'm Dory. I'm her daughter. I met Dillon when I think I was like 6 and Dillon was 5. We were introduced as cousins because my stepdad is his biological mom's sister, or brother. We were really close. We were close in age. Drill and I are the same age, and Tisha's just a few years behind us. We have a lot of memories together as little kids and even as teenagers. And all of them include Dillon and his goofy smile. One time we were at our grandma's house and Drill had to save Dillon's life because he kept calling me Chuck Norris, and for some reason it was making me so mad, and so I punched him in the face. And then I tried to hit him over the head with his own skateboard, and then Drill took it from me. So thanks, Drill. When their parents died, they all moved in with us. They weren't all there at the same time, but before they moved in with us, it was just my brother Adam and I, and we had gotten used to being the only children in the house, having our own rooms, you know, doing whatever we wanted. And then these 3 other kids moved in, these 3 other teenagers, I should say. And that was really hard for us because we had to learn how to share our parents and our house and everything inside of it. And if that's not being a sibling, then I don't know what is. What else is? Dillon is my brother, and he might not be biologically my brother, or even legally for that matter, but he is my brother. And when I lost him, I lost my brother. And like Tisha said, that still hurts, like every single day. And I don't really know what else to say. So, there.
Gerald, do you want to say something? Are you sure? Okay, Dory. Sorry. I want to do one more thing. I'd like to take a moment of silence for him and for all the other people that have been killed due to excessive force. This goes out to all of them.
Sorry, there's an ad.
Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming.
I'm back where I belong. I never felt so strong. Back there, like there's nothing that I can't try. And if you really put your hands out, so like before. Forgive me, put your hands out. Your dreams will fail to rock with the best. I'll be on song. I hear some tears of a clown. I hate that song. I always feel like they're talking to me when it comes on. Another day, another dawn. Another Keisha, nice to meet you. Get the math, I'm gone. What am I supposed to do when the club lights come on? It's easy to be up, but it's harder to be Sean. What if my twins ask me why I ain't married and gone? Damn, how do I respond? What if my son stares with a face like my own and says he wants to be like me when he's grown? Shit, but I ain't finished strong. Another night that inevitable prolongs. Another day, another dawn. Just tell Keisha and Teresa I'll be better. Another lie that I carry on. I need to get back to the place I belong. Come on, I'm coming home.
Wash away all the pain of yesterday.
Check this out. I have to put some liquor plate.
Well, ended
It's
there.
not even a CD, they're skipping.
Right? That was the last thing we heard when we put Dillon in the ground and said goodbye for the last time. Thanks for coming out, and I please encourage you to chalk all the way down to Patrick Harmon. He's taken out this world the same way. With excessive force. I hand this over to Lex. Thank you again. Go on, baby.
Can we have a bigger round of applause for the Dillon Taylor's family? It's not easy to come in the place where Dillon was killed. And Dillon was killed right here. And someone called the police and said that there were some people in this 7-Eleven with a gun. So the police rolled up, Ron Cruz rolled up. They didn't confirm it. Dillon made a purchase. He put his earphones in his ears, and he walked on this sidewalk. Ron Cruz came up screaming at him, "Get your hands up. Get your hands up." Dillon couldn't hear him. Dillon had his hands in his waistband. When Dillon finally heard him and tried to put his hands up like Ron Cruz asked, Ron Cruz emptied his clip into Dillon's chest. And after he emptied his clip, when Dillon was dead right here, he cuffed his hands behind his back. When he was dead, and then he went through his pockets in an attempt to find a weapon or drugs or anything to justify the crime. Then he took Dillon's headphones and he threw them, and the police said he heard me the whole time, he didn't have headphones in. Well, we have the unedited tape. Is it okay what happened here to Dillon Taylor?
No!
It is not okay for it to happen to Dillon. It's not okay for it to happen to the Kanash family. It's not okay for it to happen to the Harmon family, we're not going to stand for this anymore. We're not going to stand for this anymore. No, we're not. We're going to hold these police accountable. Ron Cruz still has his job and his badge and his gun, and he's walking around free. Is that okay? No! Incorrect. It is not okay. It is not okay what they did. I'm Lex. I'm the leader of Black Lives Matter Utah, and yes, we fight for white victims of police brutality. We fight for Latin victims of police brutality. We fight for Pacific Islander victims of police brutality.
We're gathered here right now because Patrick Harmon was killed a year ago. Right over here, right over there. Patrick Harmon was riding his bicycle. Shh. Hey, Dodo Peepee Head. Shh. Okay, anyway, he was riding his bicycle and he was stopped by police officers. If he was a white woman, he would not have been stopped for riding his bicycle. 3 police officers came. They found out he had a warrant for his arrest. Patrick tried to run away, and Officer Fox shot him in his back, in his side, and in his chest, and killed him. The police said that Patrick had a knife. The police said he was going to lunge at Officer Fox, and that's why he shot him. This is Utah. This is an open carry state. Black people have the right to bear arms in this state. If there are 3 police officers who have received training, then they should be able to disarm one man with a knife. Even though we don't believe Patrick had a knife, we believe they planted that knife, just like they planted that gun on Walter Scott.
Yep.
Okay, if we don't believe that, Patrick had a family that loved him very much. Very much. Patrick was a funny man. Patrick was a good man. And I'll tell you something, I don't care if you robbed 10 banks today. I don't care if you've been in and out of prison your entire life. We deserve to make it to court. Do we deserve our day in court?
Yeah.
Patrick Harmon should be alive today. His grandson was just born. He'll never see that grandson. Now, I know you guys heard me read this before, but we're going to go ahead and read this again. And they're taping it this time so that Patrick Harmon's family can see this. Patrick Harmon had a son named Patrick Harmon II. He lives in Denver, Colorado, and this is his statement today for us. This year has been a hard one for not just me, but the Harmon family as well. There's not a day that goes by that we don't think about my father. He's truly missed. Patrick Harmon, in some ways, was far from perfect, but that does not mean he was not loved. Yet he was made out to be some kind of villain who threatened 3 police officers when really my father looked scared. And that's not the way that anyone should die. He was killed for the world to see, and unfortunately, he's just one of many. This is something that must be changed because no other family should have to deal with seeing a loved one killed. So on behalf of the Harmon family and myself, Patrick Harmon II, we would like to say thank you to Black Lives Matter for helping us keep Patrick Harmon's name alive and helping us fight for justice. We'd also like to thank everyone who reached out and helped us during this time of grief. We will continue to seek justice for my father. Let's get a round of applause for the Harmon family. They think a year goes by, we're going to forget Patrick. They think 2 years go by, we're going to forget Patrick. They think we're going to, Dillon was killed 4 years ago today. Are we going to forget Dillon Taylor?
No.
No, we'll be here in 4 years. And the way, like I said, that we get justice for Dillon and Patrick is by changing the entire system. Over 750 people have been killed by police this year. That is more than mass shooters combined. Every year, police kill more people than were killed in 9/11, okay? Black men are killed every 28 hours in this country. Latin men are killed at almost the same rate, okay? And, you know, we don't care if you're white, black, Pacific Islander, Latin. We're going to fight for every police brutality victim until police brutality doesn't exist. And we're going to hold these police accountable. Utah Against Police Brutality is creating a civilian review board that has the power to bring charges against police.
Yeah.
That means you can't shoot someone, investigate your own crime scene, and find yourself innocent. Okay? We're sick of these police investigating themselves and finding themselves innocent. Is that okay?
No.
Is that okay?
No.
It is not okay. And we are going to pass legislation that says if you're a police officer and you're accused of police brutality and you are fired, you can't switch and go over to this police department over here. And you're going to release that body cam footage within 10 days of every officer involved shooting, unedited with sound.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen on that one?
Amen.
We're not playing with these cops anymore. We want your badges. We want your names. And we want you in jail.
Yeah.
We want you in
Jail.
Where do we want these cops that are killing us?
In jail.
Is this okay?
No.
No, it's not. These are real people. These are real people. I'm sick of protesting this. I'm sick of getting these calls that people have been killed by police. I'm sick of fighting for the same rights. I'm sick of these police getting away with murder and taking people's fathers, sons, cousins, and uncles. I'm sick of it. Who else is sick of it?
Big.
We're not going to let it happen. All we're asking for is for police accountability and transparency. All we're asking for is, where's my son? Get up here. Get up here. Get up here. The same age as Dillon Taylor when he died. This kid has his entire life ahead of him, just like Dillon had his entire life ahead of him. We're not going to let them kill our sons. Are we going to let them kill our sons?
No.
We're not. Thank you for coming out here. You can go back, poophead. Okay.
Aww.
We are not going to let them do this. Thank you for coming out here to celebrate Patrick's life, because he didn't deserve to die, whether he had a criminal record and the media wants to pull his criminal record before his body is cold to justify the shooting. And Patrick, we're still here fighting for you. Yes. We're going to stay fighting till we change this entire system. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Let's give her a hand.
Hey guys, I'm Carly with Utah Against Police Brutality, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what you've been seeing at Slcpac. This is the Salt Lake City Police Accountability Council. It's a model we implemented from the Chicago Alliance for Racist and Political Repression. We need solutions, and we need them now because people's lives are on the line. We can keep having rallies, which is good. It's good to be angry, but we need solutions. We need solutions now because people's lives are on the line. Police have been a threat, and they've proven unworthy of their positions. And we need to charge those cops, fire the cops, and jail the cops. Charge the cops, fire the cops, jail the cops. Charge the cops, fire the cops, jail the cops. Charge the cops, fire the cops, jail the cops.
Charge the cops, fire the cops, jail the cops.
And we need legislation implemented so that we are able to proceed with the same way all of us have to face the criminal
criminal justice system. Slcpac it would be a non-bipartisan, democratically elected position. It'd be a government-paid position for people, our communities, in charge of policing the police, because they've proven insufficient to police themselves. It makes no sense that they are only accountable to themselves, which is no accountability at all. At all. And 99% cases across the U.S. where cops have been involved shooting, all of them were acquitted. All of them. And do you really believe 99% of those officers were innocent? No, they weren't. We need a system in place that would hold these cops accountable. And so again, Slcpac is something we've been working on for the past 2 to 3 years. I've been with Utah Against Police Brutality for about that time. And it's amazing that we finally have this legislation that you're going to see Slcpac everywhere. We're not alone. Chicago's pushing for it. Florida will be pushing for it. We're doing good things, but we need you to spread the word that we are enacting a democratic legislation that would give people real teeth against the police who are a harm to our communities. Because our communities aren't safe with more police, they're safe with more resources for the people.
Yeah.
And we need to, those cops need to be held accountable for the crimes. We're only asking that this position would take, that it would take only 3% of what's given for the police budget. 3% is all we're asking, so that these people are solely invested in collecting data on the police, and reviewing body camera footage, and reviewing police departments, and making sure that we're not just suggesting that they get better training. We're not just throwing a suggestion to the wind and on Twitter that there be better police training. They don't have to listen to you. That's the problem. They are not accountable to you. And people feel powerless. So we need to organize against real solutions that are for real material democracy. You know, you can't really argue with excess democracy to the people. We should have say over who's policing us and who's doing it wrong and who's killing people.
Yeah.
We should be able to charge these people. If you're supposed to know the law and enforce the law, you should be held accountable to that law, right?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's absurd. And again, we're Utah Against Police Brutality. We meet every Wednesday at the Boys and Girls Club at 6:30 p.m. We're organizing for real solutions, for real positions that would be in charge of the cops, and they would finally be accountable to us. And I think we could win. It would be the first, Salt Lake City would be the first in the country if we were to enact it here. And I think we can do it, and we need your help. So please look us up on Facebook and get to know Slcpac. You're going to see it everywhere. It's going to spread like wildfire. I'm very hopeful about it.
Woo!
Yeah. There's some swag.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Fuck the police!
Fuck the police!
Thanks for yelling in my ear.
Justice for Harmon!
Justice for Harmon! Justice for Harmon! Justice for Harmon!
Justice for Harmon!
Justice for Harmon! Justice for Harmon! That's what it's supposed to be when you ride up in the street.